one, so we can go this way. Well, all right, let me minimize. All right, let me dive in here. 352 409.
Hello, can I take your card number, leave your detailed message and your phone number, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. Thank you and make it a great day. Bye-bye.
Hi, good morning, Kenneth. This is Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance that you had requested some information on. Sorry I missed you. I just sent you a text as well. That way, if it's easier, in case you're on shift, you can reply via text. I need to gather your birthday and just some very basic information. That way I can send over your enrollment options to take a look at. I'm guessing by your email, it might be 1954, but I didn't want to assume, so I needed to verify it. If you prefer, you could also give me a call back. It's 352-942-5313. And again, it's Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance. Thanks again.
Smooth as butter, Misty.
And you know why? Because I practice it over and over and over.
Amen.
Let me grab Jennifer the link. 1 second. There we go. Okay, let me go to the next one. Dutch. 512.
Call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Dutch Walker
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Dutch. This is Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance, the life insurance for first responders that you had requested information on. Sorry I missed you. I just sent you a text as well, in case you're on shift or you're screening your calls. I just need to gather your birthday and some basic information. That way I can send over your enrollment options to take a look at. If it's easier, you can reply via text, or if you prefer to talk on the phone, you can call me back. It's 352-942-5313. And again, it's Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance. Thanks again. Oh. So this guy's beneficiary was fuck you. So I'm not sure how this one's going to go.
What?
Everything else looks pretty accurate, but I'm not sure why it says that.
Oh, wow.
Misty, it's so funny hearing you curse.
Enough.
You've reached Captain Paul Stewart. Please leave a message. I'll call you back as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey, Captain Paul, this is Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance that you had requested info on. Sorry I missed you. I just sent you a text as well. If it's easier, you can reply via text, or if you prefer to talk on the phone, you can give me a call. It's 352-942-5313. And again, it's for the First Responder Life Insurance that you had requested information on. Thanks again. You think it's cute when I curse, Brian? This guy's in Iowa, so is anyone here licensed in Iowa? It's an odd state. Yeah, me neither. So we're just gonna skip over that one. Okay. I'll send her to Holly. All right, and then we're gonna go Val. Val is a nursing one.
Misty.
Yes.
Shouldn't we all mute on our side? That way no bleed comes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. 473-2659.
You have dialed is not in service.
Oh,
If you feel you
well, hers is not in service, so we're going to send her an email. Okay. Let me share my screen too, so you guys can all see what I'm doing. Do you guys all know where to find these templates in the training portal?
Yes.
Perfect. Should I do need that still? Just need to make sure I have her birthday. Okay, perfect. All right, so nobody answered. You guys were not good luck this morning. Nobody answered. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Carla. But I do want to go over, so I do want to role play on the intro because we kind of went over that last week. I know Jen, you weren't on last week. You were taking care of some other stuff. And Brian, I don't think you were on last week either. But I do want to go over like some role play with you know, we'll mix it up. Like, so Jennifer, you're good with your initial call before. I don't know if you saw, we have to get a lot more detailed information when we run the quotes over here. So I did post the questions that we need to ask on the training portal. Because we do need to know like their prescriptions and that over here. Because those two carriers, well, there's three that are proprietary, but GTL and Prosperity, they're kind of like a 3 strikes and you're out. Meaning like if you run 3 apps and they're declined back to back, they're going to tell you that you need to go get more training in field underwriting before they give you your link back. Because they get charged every time they run an app, whether it's approved or not. So they don't want people, it's not like SPLI where we would put it through and pray that, you know, they qualified. And if they didn't, we pivot. Over here, they're very serious about you're a field underwriter. You should be really qualifying in the field before you're running the app. So they were very, very set on that. And one agent has already basically lost his access because he had 4 back-to-back declines and 2 approvals, but still. They're like, he needs more training. I'm like, okay, he's actually a trainer, but okay. Which is a little scary. So, we got to be really thorough. So that's why I'm really hounding on the qualifying. So who wants to volunteer to role play first? Who wants to, I need 2 because you guys are going to partner up. Man, nobody's.
I've done it, but I can do it again. I mean, I don't want to just sit here and have dead air, I guess. But you pick
Yeah.
whoever you want.
All right.
Come on, Kevin.
Dylan and Kevin. Okay. So you guys each
Well,
are going to do it, you know, with
go
each
again.
other. So whoever wants to go first is being the client, and whoever wants to go first is being the agent.
Kevin, I'll let you choose.
I'll be the client first. You mind, Dylan? I'll be the client first.
All right. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, it's Kevin. How can I help you?
Hey, Kevin. This is Dylan with the Red Insurance Agency. How are you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Hey, we just got your request for some information on life insurance. Let's just start out. When is your birthday?
March 21st, 1962.
Awesome, man. Awesome. You having a good day today?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Awesome.
Thanks for asking.
Awesome, man. And
Hope you're, how about you?
Oh, not too bad. Every day above ground's a good one.
No kidding.
You're right?
I'm right there with you.
Hey, Kevin, what is your current height and weight?
Height 6'2".
Okay.
Weight, I'm a big boy, 304.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're tall. Taller than me.
Big guy.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, are you on any pre-existing, like, are you on any medication or anything, any prescriptions?
Um, well, let's see here. The only thing about a year and a half ago, I just some stress I was going through for some reason, it made my blood pressure go up.
Okay.
And so they put me on 10 milligrams per day of lisinopril.
Okay. So 10 milligrams of cyprinapale.
Lisinopril.
Oh, lisinopril. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
And but the thing of it is, my cholesterol is really, really good. I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
155 and I think like 61 or 62 milligrams of HDL, which they tell you is phenomenal. So
Good.
my cholesterol's great. I'm not diabetic, but I'll let you go ahead and ask the questions. Go ahead.
Awesome, man. So, yeah, you actually segued perfectly. I was just about to ask, are you diabetic or um, are you diabetic?
No,
Awesome. Perfect. Have you undergone any surgeries in the past 3 years? Or, yeah.
3 years, no.
Okay. Gotcha. Awesome. And do you have any history of heart, liver, pancreas, anything with those or any other
Nope.
disease? Gotcha. Awesome, man. Awesome.
Perfectly clear.
Awesome. So no pre-existing, and then do you have any pre-existing medical conditions?
N- no, I don't.
Oh,
I've had colonoscopies; those were clear. Um, Endoscopies that was clear. My blood work has been. My doctors told me if you just get that weight off, you'd be in tremendous shape. So I got to get the weight off me. But other than that, my blood work is stellar.
gotcha. Okay, good,
So he
good.
tells me.
Well, hey, glad to hear it. And then just last question here, Kevin. Do you smoke any nicotine or any other tobacco products?
Nope,
Awesome,
no
man.
smoking.
Awesome. All right.
No, and
Fan.
alcohol. Can say recreational once in a while, maybe once every 2-3 months.
Hey, I get it. I'm firm believer everybody needs a drink sometime.
Yeah,
Just don't overdo it, right?
exactly.
Oh yeah. Awesome, man. And then what type of coverage were you looking for today?
Uh, about 500,000.
500,000?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome, man. All right. So here, I can definitely see what we are going for. Now, typically, life insurance, you want to have about, 8 to 10 times your income. 500,000, I'm assuming, would that cover it?
No, it wouldn't.
No. Okay. All right. Let me ask you,
8 to
Kevin.
10. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're welcome. I mean, make about 130 a year. So
Okay.
you know, 800,000, nine
Yeah.
hundred thousand, million.
Okay. Yeah.
We can quote up to high as well.
Awesome, man. And Kevin, why are you looking into this today? Is there anything that has happened that got you really starting to dive into this?
Um, just the fact that I don't want to leave my wife destitute. I don't want to,
Gotcha.
if something were to happen to me, I want to make sure she's okay, can survive and not have the stress or the trauma. I mean,
Gotcha.
losing a loved one's hard enough, but then when you lose a loved one, and then on top of that, you compound it with no money, no income, loss of income, gone. I just
Right.
couldn't imagine her living and going through that stress.
I hear you. No, absolutely. We definitely don't want that. All right. And then I should have asked you this earlier. I do apologize, but do you have any coverage in place right now, or are we just starting fresh?
I have a policy in place that will be running out. It was a 20-year level term.
Okay.
It's running out within the year. Well, I know within
Okay.
6 months, actually, within 6 months. And the
Okay.
premium's going way high because of how it works.
Right. All right. I
You
gotcha.
get a real low level premium, and then it just skyrockets
Right.
on
Right.
every call. So
All right. So here, let
it's
me go
their way
ahead.
of saying start looking for something else, basically.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, here, Kevin, let me go ahead. And then are we looking for a whole life cover? Here, last question here. Are we looking for a whole life or a term life?
I kind of wouldn't mind seeing both.
Okay.
I
Gotcha.
want to get your thoughts on that. You know, which is the best way to go,
Gotcha. Because what we could
especially
do,
at my age.
exactly, definitely age is going to be a consideration into everything. If we are, dead set on that 500,000, what I can do is I can run it through a couple different ways. But I will definitely make sure to send you over all the options so that way, hey, you have all of them in front of you, and I want to let you make the decision. I don't want to be making this decision for you.
Yes.
Sound good?
That sounds perfect, man.
Awesome.
Wait, are you done? All right.
Yep.
Few things. Did you
All
ask
right.
birthday? Did I miss that?
Yes.
He got my
Oh, he did?
birthday.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, did I miss the birthday? So that must have been early on. Okay. Did you get his height and weight? Did I miss
Yes.
it? Okay. I missed those two. Sorry.
6'2", 320?
Okay.
No, 304.
No, 304. I'm sorry, Kevin.
So what was his
Nope.
birthday?
March
didn't-
21st, 1962.
I didn't write it down.
I just turned. I don't know what 62 is supposed to feel like. I don't feel old.
362.
Turned
Okay.
60. Yeah.
So when somebody's 62 and they're telling you they want 500,000,
Yeah.
that's right there. You got to have that come to Jesus.
Okay.
Because if he's 62 and he wants 500,000, it's going to be very expensive
Yeah.
and also very difficult to get. So for me, like as soon as I would hear that, I'd be like, okay, we can try, but based on your age, I just want to let you know that might be a difficult coverage amount. So if I could
Okay.
get you maybe like 250,000, especially like the other thing is he's telling you he wants 500,000.
Uh-huh.
You shouldn't be asking him anything about whole life then,
Okay.
because there's no whole life that's going to go up to 500,000.
Right.
So when you don't hit it head on, then there's going to be disappointment down the road when he's
Mhm.
hoping to see both options, and he's only seeing that he can go up to 75,000 in whole life, because
Okay.
Baltimore Life you can go up to 150,000, but keep in mind, and
The
Jennifer,
blood
I don't
work.
know how much time you've had to jump in and play around with Baltimore Life with some of the new carriers. You're gonna love them. They are better rates than Moo and more lenient underwriting, and you can go up to 150,000 in their whole life. But if you go anything over 75,000, if it's 75,000 and $1, now they need a physical. If you keep it under 75,000, they don't need a physical. It's instant approval. So try to keep it under 75,000. And especially for like someone Kevin's age, if he were trying to even get 150,000 whole life, it's probably going to be $800-900 a month, which is another mortgage. So most people aren't going to do that. I didn't hear you ask about stroke or cancer. I heard you ask about pre-existing conditions prior, but some people don't consider those, like they don't even think about it. When he said he had a colonoscopy and Benoski, whatever the other one was,
And endoscopy.
I would ask, how long ago were those? Because some
Okay.
carriers it may flag.
Okay.
So just kind of drill down a little bit on that one. Just ask how long ago were those, and do you
Okay.
have your results back already? Because that might be something that they, something you don't want to quote somebody, and if he doesn't get his results back, and then he gets his results next week, and it's got a mark that says, "Hey, turns out you have some polyps or something. We need to take a deeper look at." What you quoted him may not be,
Accurate.
something he can look at.
Okay.
You did really good about asking the why, the who, existing coverage. Those things weren't even covered, and you did a really great job about asking those. Good job on that. And the prescriptions. So kind of went over, don't ask what kind of coverage. The other reason why you don't want to ask if you're running an ad that says everything that's geared towards term, they don't even know whole life exists.
Okay.
Most people don't have a clue about anything about insurance.
Right.
Like on one of my ads, it even says, but who's your beneficiary? In other words, when you pass, who do you want to get a check in hand? And I can't tell you how many people put self when they send the form. And I'm like, you can't pay yourself.
Right.
You're dead. Like, I mean, they don't even understand about what a beneficiary is. So when you say you're constantly going to get that, I got to think about it. If you're asking people what kind of coverage they want, and I know Mark kind of does that, but I never ask it. And I hardly ever get that. I got to think about it, just because If you're, hey, do you want whole life? Do you want universal? Do you want term? They're like,
What?
exactly. They're like my guy, you know, who was signing his thing, and they're like, what plan did you apply for? And he's like, life insurance. And they're like, we think you said whole life. And he's like, life insurance.
Yeah.
Like, it's term. He had no idea like what it was even called. So just keep that in mind. Like,
Okay.
if they're responding to a term ad, they're looking for a term.
Okay.
Now sometimes based on age, then you have to have that, hey, I'm going to send you both options, and you did good with that. You're like, you know, I do say a lot because I get a lot of people that are right on that line. I'm like, I'm going to send you some term options, but I'm also going to send you some more permanent plans, because term, you know, term is only going to cover you during that term. And I don't want to put an expiration date on you. You're not a dairy product, you know. I don't want to say, hey, you got to die in the next 10 years.
Right.
So I'm going to send you some whole life options too. And I kind of plant the seed. I'm like, sometimes my clients, if you're trying to cover like a mortgage or something, we may take it like a 10-year term that's going to have that higher coverage for us now. But I'm also going to put you in a whole life, which is the more permanent plan, so that we also have you set up later in life. Or I tell them the only term options I'm going to send you are ones that have guaranteed reassurability, meaning 10 years when that term comes up, you can get into another plan. But you got to keep in mind, like 10 years for Kevin, he's going to be 72 years old.
Right.
All term ends at age 80. So like if he were 78, there's no sense I can't, even if he's in a term that has guaranteed insurability, he can't get back in it because
Right.
they don't have a 2-year term. So keep that in mind. And people will usually appreciate that you tell them, you know, it's going to be cheaper for you to get like a $10,000, $15,000 burial expense plan now while you're younger. Because, you know, Kevin right now, you know, kind of boosted his ego. You're in great health, only on lisinopril. Good for you, buddy. Like, but we don't know, like 10 years down the road, you might have a heart attack in between now and then. That could prevent you from, or you could develop cancer, anything. We don't know the unknown. So if I put you in a smaller plan now too, that also is going to ensure the fact that you'll have permanent coverage for life. Because I don't want you to come to me at 78 when your plan expires and now you have cancer and all I can get you is a graded plan, meaning that you got to live at least 2 years before it's going to pay out. So you're going to gain a lot of their trust and knowledge just by throwing out those little one-liners. But you
Okay.
did a really good job. I'm sorry, I had like a text come through and ding. So I think I missed when you asked for the birthday and the height and weight. I was like, did he ask all these awesome questions, but then skip the two? That's why I was like, did you ask those two? So, all right, Kevin, that puts you in the hot seat now.
Oh no, here we go. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Dylan?
Yeah, this is him.
Hey, Dylan, this is Kevin Lee with Legacy Protection Insurance. Happy Tuesday to you. How's things going for you?
Oh, they're going, man. How are you? What can I do for you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I'm calling in regards to the request for information that you requested for life insurance coverage, and wanted to find out if I could ask you a few questions so we can get the ball rolling for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Dylan, when is your birth date?
12/19/98.
1998. Okay.
Yep.
12/19/98.
Yep.
And also, what is your current height and weight?
I am 5'8", 5'9" on a good day though.
Okay. And what is your weight?
I am currently 120.
120?
Yep.
120. All right. Excellent.
I am small.
That's all right, man. That's all right. Dylan, do you have any pre-existing medical conditions that you know of?
Not that I know of. I don't go to the doctor, so.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. So how long has it been since you've been to a doctor?
Oh, got to be over 10 years.
Over 10 years? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Have you ever been diagnosed with heart disease, cancer, excluding skin cancers in the past 10 years, or any other serious illnesses at all?
No.
Really? That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Are you currently taking any prescriptions medications? If so, let me know what those are if you don't mind. And also, and also thinking back on the last 5 years, has there ever been anything that you've been prescribed that you're currently taking or have stopped taking?
In the last 5 years, no.
Okay. Before that?
Yeah, I had some ADHD medication when I was little, but that was about it.
ADHD?
Yeah.
Okay. That would now basically lead me into the next question I have for you. Any situations with anxiety or depression that you have been having to deal with that you have been diagnosed for?
Nope. Nothing that I've been diagnosed for.
Okay, so the ADHD, how long ago are you still taking that medication? If
No, no, no. I've been off that for 10 years. It was back when
10
I was
years?
in, yeah, elementary school.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Do you smoke cigarettes or cigars or use any kind of tobacco products?
Yes.
You do? So
Yeah.
you are currently a smoker.
Correct. I hang
Okay.
around with a lot of Europeans, man. It's hard not to when you're around you know, them.
Okay. All right. Well, how often do you smoke? Is it every single day?
Um, I would say weekends.
Weekends mainly? Okay.
Yeah.
But you do smoke. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever undergone any surgeries or medical procedures in the past 5 years?
No, never.
Okay. Alcohol. Do you consume alcohol on a weekly basis?
Yes.
How often?
Um, say Friday, Saturday, that sort of thing.
Okay. Have you ever been treated for alcohol or drug abuse in the past
N-
7 years?
No, no, I don't let it get that bad.
Got it. Okay. So you're more like a recreational drinker if you do
Correct.
drink at all. Okay. Have you ever been treated for substance abuse, which I just asked a moment ago, but I want to kind of dig down on it.
No, no, I've never even,
Just
had.
want to make sure there's no addictions, nothing.
No,
Okay.
I hear you. Yeah, no,
That's
I've
excellent.
never even tried weed. So,
Wow. Well, that's good. Do you participate in any high risk activities like skydiving, rock climbing, things of that nature?
no, I'm too afraid of the parachute not coming out.
You and me both. You
Yep.
and me
I ain't
both.
doing that.
Have you ever, and I asked this, so you've never had anything to go on with depression, anxiety, or are there any mental health conditions at all? You're telling me.
No.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know. Any family members being diagnosed with hereditary medical conditions?
Hey, Kevin.
What? Don't ask anymore?
So yeah, you're going too deep on an initial conversation. People are not going to want to go through this many questions. Like you're basically doing the application.
Yeah. Well, after what I went through last night, I'm just
Right.
trying
But
to dig deeper. So I got to have a balance.
yeah,
I need to have a balance. Okay.
you have to have a
All right.
balance. They're way too like,
That's okay. I mean, hey, I'm learning. I just, like, again, what I went through last night, I just don't want to, I'm trying to avoid going through that again if I can.
yep.
Well, Dylan, sounds like you've given me a lot of information here. We can help with all your needs. We work with several carriers. But at the end of the day, we want to work for you. We want to find out whatever works for you and make sure we're putting the best plans in front of you and the plan that you need. So I need to ask you also, what are the main purposes of life insurance that you're looking for? What do you need life insurance coverage for?
I got a younger sister and just making sure that she's gonna be taken care of. And if anything does happen to me, I got her to think about too.
Gotcha. Okay. And any thoughts on kind of how much coverage you're going to need? They say that the typical is anywhere from 8 to 10 times the amount of your annual income.
Yeah, about I would say about 500,000.
500,000. Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of life insurance were you looking for? Any thoughts as far as term insurance or whole life? Whole life, we
I
can only go up to 75,000, so that's going to kick that to the curb. But we can always look at that as a different policy too as well. But 500,000 pretty much be your level term.
okay.
And with your age, we can get you a 20-year level term.
Okay. In your opinion, do you think that would be the better route to go down? Would be a term policy? Really don't know a whole lot about the differences.
If you're wanting to go with 500,000, yes, I would recommend a
term.
level term and perhaps a 20-year level term as well. So that price stays the same, and it's at the end of the 20 years you can renew it for the whatever the rate would be 20 years down the road.
Okay. Yeah.
The bottom line. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dylan.
Yeah. Let's go with that then.
Okay.
You're the professional. I don't know too much about life insurance, so let's go with whatever you're suggesting.
Sounds great, Dylan. Well, look, I want to just say in closing, we work with over 30 carriers, so I'm going to shop for the best deal for you. And lastly, do you have a spouse involved here that you need coverage on?
No.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, I'll get shopping for you and get you the best rates, and then get the rates over to you. And then when's a good time to be able to follow up with you? Sometime this week.
I'm off on Wednesdays. I could do like Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah.
Okay, what time would be good for you? Are you Eastern time?
I am Central Chicago time.
Central? Okay. What
Yeah.
time's good for you? Wednesday?
1.
1 p.m.? Perfect. All right, Dylan, I'll get that. I've got your email address here. I'll send out the invite. You'll have some quotes, I'd say within the next couple of hours. Be looking for that through your email. Any questions, feel free to text me, or you can call me direct. Be glad to answer any questions you may have. In the meantime, looking forward to seeing you Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Take care. Thank you.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So some things you did really well. Like you definitely asked the basic stuff that last week you skipped over a lot of. But this week, yeah, you got to find that balance, because you're like literally asking carrier questions. Like people don't usually ask about, especially with first responders, you are going to offend them asking, as you asked him about mental health 3 different times.
Ah.
So you got to write down all the information you're getting too as you're going, because some of these guys are on anxiety meds, and like that could be very offensive. I mean, most of them are in at least something for anxiety to help sleep. And when he said he had ADHD medicine, which is more for like hyper, especially once he mentioned as a child, and you took it to mental health, and I'm like, those don't correlate. And then you asked him again later about mental health, and then you asked again later, you're like, and so I just want to reiterate, there's no mental health issues. Like that could be very, very offensive.
Gotcha.
And most of these cops, they're very, like Jennifer's dealt with some of them, they're very short. Like they want to give you basic information. And they will call you out on it. They're gonna be like, why are you asking me about you? I already asked that. Like they will be blunt with you and not friendly. So I'm just trying to hit that head on for you. Don't think I'm baiting you up.
No. Hey, we're learning here.
Yep. You asked him what insurance he wanted after I just went over. We don't ask them what they want. They don't know what they want. So we're not asking what kind of insurance they want. Especially when he's younger, like he is. He's born in 1998. I would do a 30-year term all day long for him. That is going to 100% be his best option. It's going to be the most effective. A 30-year-old isn't making much money usually. They need that to be locked in that rate as long as they can. A whole life for him, he'd be overpaying probably.
75,000. You said it earlier. I shouldn't have brought that up.
Yep.
No
Yeah, we
question.
don't ask what kind of insurance do you want, because they have no idea. I never ask about alcohol or substance abuse on my initial call. It's
Okay.
very invasive for an initial call when they just met you 2 seconds ago. It's like, hey, you ever been in rehab? And most of the cops and fire, if you're doing, first responders, it's a given. They don't have that because they could not work in the field in their industry if they have either. Just so you know,
Yeah.
most of them, if they even get a speeding ticket, it's a big deal. Like they got to go to court and they got to get it removed from their record. Like They cannot even have speeding tickets. So anything along like those lines, you can assume drug and alcohol, they're not going to have that history because they won't be a first responder if they do.
Okay. You know, I will tell you, no question, I ask a whole lot more questions this week than I did
Yeah.
last week. And the bottom line is this, what I went through last night, I'm thinking, how in the world did this happen? You know, there's got to be something else in their medical record that caused it. So I don't know. So I'm digging deep, but way too deep. No question.
You're
I
going way
agree.
too deep. Like hobbies, like you're asking about people's, like you're asking about whether you're a skydiver or a rock climber, like on your initial call, like that's pretty invasive too.
Okay, no problem.
So keep it a little bit simpler on that kind of stuff. But it was better than last week, I'll say that. But yeah, go in and keep watching the recordings. I'm going to use Jennifer because she's been through the ringer. When she can walk around and ask without looking at a script. She knows her intro. And you know, one thing I'll say about Jennifer is I did not spend any time one-on-one coaching her in the beginning. Not one single session. She went 100% through the training portal and learned it all on her own. And I could see she was in there. And she's really good about it. So I'll let her be the client. So I'll qualify her. So ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Jennifer?
Hey, this is. How can I help you?
Hey, Jennifer, it's Misty with the First Responder Life Insurance, the life insurance you just requested information on a couple minutes ago. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for asking. I didn't mean to catch off guard either, too. Sorry. I just got to gather some real basic information. That way I can start working on your enrollment options for you. Can I start with your birthday?
Yeah, it's 1/26 of 1994.
1990. Oh, you're like my daughter's age. Fun age. You're coming up on your 30s. Those were some of my best years.
Yeah, just turned 30 back in January.
Yep. For me, for whatever reason, I stopped at 32 for like a decade. I don't know. There's something about 32 that just seemed like a good place to park. So,
Hey, that's fine.
do you mind also, can I grab your height and your weight?
Sure. My height is 5'1", and I am currently 200 pounds.
Perfect. Your fun size, just like me. Okay. Love it. We're not short. I always point out we are not short. We are fun size. There is a difference.
Exactly.
Then Jennifer, do you have any history of any issues with the heart, stroke, cancer?
No.
Perfect. Off to a great start. Are you diabetic at all?
No.
Okay, not diabetic. Okay. Any prescriptions that you are taking?
Yes, I take Zoloft for depression.
Zoloft for depression. Okay. How long have you been on that?
I have been on that for 2 years now.
2 years? Okay, perfect. So they got it under control then. I always like to ask because I know sometimes with anxiety and depression meds, they gotta fluctuate to find what works and what doesn't work. So
Yeah.
because of that, I also have to ask, were you on anything prior to the 2 years? Like any prescriptions you were on like the past 7 years, say?
So before the Zoloft, we had tried duloxetine. So for the depression, and that duloxetine didn't work, so we switched to the Zoloft.
Okay, so you were off that about 2 years then. Perfect. Okay.
Hmm.
Perfect. And no other prescriptions that you've taken for anything?
The only other thing I've taken was and I didn't even take, I took like maybe 1 or 2, and that was oxycodone when I had my teeth extracted.
Okay, so you had a dental surgery. Perfect. How
Mhm.
long ago was that?
That was that was actually last year. No, yeah, last year.
Okay, so last year. So okay, that was one
Mhm.
of my other questions I was gonna ask is, did you have any surgery? And the reason why I asked that is because yeah, the oxycodone, sometimes that can flag you, but because we were gonna mark that you had dental surgery, they'll see that the time frame was about the same. So that'll just
Okay.
kind of cross each other out. They'll understand why you're on oxy because oxy is one of those drugs sometimes people, like to have a little bit of fun with. So
Yeah.
sometimes the carrier sees that and they're like, oh, hold on, got a party girl here. So I just want to make sure they don't see you as a party girl. Perfect. Okay. And then do you have a rough idea how much coverage you were looking for?
I would at least, like maybe 100 to 150,000, just to make sure if anything happened to me that my husband and my daughter was taken care of.
Okay, so you're trying to make sure if something happened to your husband, that's totally understandable, and I appreciate that because I lost a parent at a young age. So thank you for being responsible and making sure that, God forbid something happens to you, your daughter will be taken care of. Because I can tell you, as a child who didn't have a parent who had a plan, it's very different experience than one who has a plan in place for, God forbid something happens to you.
Yeah.
So thanks for being that. Are you a smoker by chance?
Nope.
Perfect. Not a smoker. You're not going to start as soon as I enroll you, are you?
Oh, no. No.
Good, good, good. All right, perfect. And then do you remember the last time you were at your doctor?
Last time I was at my doctor, it was in September of last year, and it was just for my yearly checkup.
Okay. And everything was fine, I assume. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay. And your husband, your daughter, your beneficiaries. Okay. I think I have everything I need to get going here. Yeah, because you don't have any history. You're a pretty healthy girl. All right. Perfect. I'm going to work on these today. I'll get these over to you here in just a little bit. And then is Jennifer B at gmail.com. Is that the best email to send these over to you?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. And then usually I'll follow up with you in a day or two. What day later this week works best to get back with you?
You can reach back out to me any day. I stay at home and take care of my daughter, so I'm free anytime.
Okay, so you get flexible. Okay, perfect. But that works for me too, because I get pretty busy. So thank you for being flexible, because sometimes I say, hey, I'll try to get back with you Thursday morning, and then Thursday morning I get flooded with calls. So if I do miss you, I'll send you a text as well, letting you know I did reach out. And if you have any questions before I get back to you, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I also work from home, so I'm pretty flexible as well. So if you do call and get my voicemail, just shoot me a text too, and I'll call you as soon as I get off the phone, because that means I'm
Sounds
probably
great.
helping another family. So, all right, I'll get working on these now, and I'll get these over to you in just a bit. I'll shoot you a text when I send the email as well.
Thank you so much. Sounds great.
Perfect. All right. So thanks for that. So there's a couple things. Did you see how, like, she told me she was on Zoloft, and I'm like, okay, how long have you been on that? It is important, because that is one of the questions it asks on that quoting tool when you drill down. It says, hey, how long when's the last time you took this, and when was it first filled? And then anytime you hear anxiety or depression, a lot of times they have sometimes it may look like there's 5 or 6 medications on there. I know the teen girl we took in that had, major depression. It looked like she was on a ton of meds, but she was on 2. But they have to play around a lot of times to find what works and what doesn't work.
Mhm.
So they're all going to show up on their medical records. So that's why it was important for me to ask, hey, what were you on before? Were you on anything before? So that I can also list that, because one of the things she may have been on may have been a knockout. So even though she's not on it, it's still within that time frame that they're looking at, that it may knock her out. So even though she's not taking it, it's still going to show up. So we still have to list it, whether she's on it or not. Because if, some of these carriers too, they're very big on honesty. So kind of like how Banner was. If Banner, asked and you're like, no, I never had that, and they see that you did, that's an automatic decline for them, because they're like, you weren't honest. So it's really important we get that oxycodone. That is a big red flag. So I'm so glad you went down that road. That is a huge red flag. Any kind of narcotic. And sometimes when they give you a narcotic that's heavy like that, they'll also prescribe Narcan. So sometimes Narcan, a carrier sees Narcan and they're like, this guy's been in rehab or has a drug abuse problem. It doesn't mean it's a drug abuse problem. Some doctors will prescribe Narcan when you are giving something like Oxy that's a heavy painkiller. Just in case, my God, she accidentally OD'd, there's Narcan on hand to revive her.
Yeah, no, I literally only took like 2 of those pills, and that was after having 3 teeth extracted at one time.
God, you're a beast.
And taking care of my little one as well at the time too. So
I asked her
I was like,
roughly how much coverage she wanted, you know, she didn't ask for a ton. Now, if she would have told me she's looking for 500,000, usually I'll kind of break it down. With her, based on her age, I wouldn't have any concern, but like somebody like Kevin, someone, you know, your age or even my age, when they're asking me for 500,000, I drill down a little bit more and I'm like, okay, Dylan, you know, 500,000. Yep. We have I say we have some carriers that would offer you that. But where did you come up with that 500,000? Like, I'm just curious, like, are we trying to cover a mortgage or why 500,000? And then sometimes they'll break it down. They're like, well, yeah, my mortgage is this much, you know, and I want to make sure the kids. So I'm getting more of their why too. Because she's not looking for a ton. She's looking for 100 to 150,000. That should be a really easy deal. Now I will send her probably options up to 350,000, especially since her rates should come in pretty good. And then I'll, you know, because I may entice her to realize she can afford more coverage. But like someone my age or Kevin's age, I would, you know, drill down because I would tell them. The reason why I'm asking is, you know, some of our carriers will go up that high for you, but I also don't want to overinsure you. I don't want you to pay any more than you have to. So, and I'm like, some people saw that, you know, you can go up to 1 million and they were just like, I want 1 million. It's like, but do you need 1 million? You know, and sometimes then they're like, yeah, then they'll tell me at minimum, I'd like this much. I'm like, okay. So then I know my parameters. She gave me her why, but I didn't have to ask because she told me her husband and her daughter were her why. And you know, acknowledge that. Thank you for being responsible, setting that up. And then I ask about doctor visit just because some people like, I don't know if you were paying attention when Dylan's like, I don't go to the doctor. I was like, yes, those are my favorite guys because they always come in with the best marks and the best rates because they don't have any health history. That's me. I never go to the doctor, so I came in elite when I applied for myself. So someone like that, you know, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, usually easy breezy getting them covered because if he hasn't been to a doctor in 10 years, he has no medical history. He's going to come through with a clean strike. As long as his driving record's clean too. But if he's a first responder, I can assume he is. And then build. I just got to make sure his build is good. Any questions on how we did ours?
I mean, it was smooth.
Carla, you want to take a swing at it?
I can. Maintenance is still working in the back, but I can try.
Okay. How about if it looks like Brian's driving? He's always in big equipment. How about if Dylan is he's your agent or your client? I mean, you're reaching out to Dylan and you're qualifying Dylan.
And I'm gonna change my answers so that way we get a little variety. Can't just copy.
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this Dylan?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Carla with the First Responder Life Insurance Program. I was just calling about the information you requested a few minutes ago. I'm just
Oh.
trying to get some basic information to send you some quotes, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you provide me with your date of birth?
Yeah, it is March 31st, 1996.
Okay, you were born right around the same year as me. I'm a 94 baby.
Awesome.
And how's your day going so far?
Not too bad. What about yourself?
It's going pretty good. And I'm just gonna ask a few more questions. So are you currently on any medications?
Just fluoxetine.
Do you know the strength that you're on by chance?
Off the top of my head, no. And I mean, I'm out right now, so I don't have the bottle on hand.
Okay. I'll shoot you a text after this, and when you get a chance, just send me the strength. And do
Okay.
you have any pre-existing medical conditions? Like, have you had a heart attack, stroke?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. What about surgery in the last 3 years?
I had, just some knee surgery, but that was about it.
Okay. And then around how long ago was that?
Let's see, that was shortly after a hockey season, so I would say 2018, 2017, like end of 2017, beginning of 2018.
Okay. And then Let's see. Do you remember, did you take any medications after that surgery, like for pain or anything?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I
Oh,
don't think I did. It wasn't too bad.
and are you currently diabetic?
No,
Okay, that's great news. And do you use any type of tobacco products? Like do you
no,
smoke? No?
no.
And then what's gonna be the reason for your coverage? Like, are you trying to pay off a house or a mortgage, protect a child, your spouse?
Yeah, just me and my wife were looking into it. We got a house. I think we still owe about 300 and something on it. So I want to make sure that she's
Oh,
able to at least carry a mortgage payment.
got it. So essentially, you'd like to have that extra coverage to pay off the mortgage payment, but also protect your wife if something were unfortunately to happen to you, correct?
Correct.
All right, and then what is your current height and weight?
I am currently 5'10", 175.
Oh, when's the last time you would say that you've been to the doctor? Do you go often or?
Um, Last time I went to a doctor was probably a good 6 years ago. But that was just, check up on the knee, make sure everything's going well.
Oh, got it. And then when we're looking at the coverage amount, I know you said you owe close to 300,000 left on your house. What amount of coverage would you be looking for?
So I got, my car payment too, so probably about 360-ish.
Okay, got it. All right, sounds great. I do have your email and your phone number, so I'm partnered with over 30 carriers. So I'm gonna do the hard work for you and run a couple of quotes, and I'll send you the best options. And then in about 2 days, we can schedule a call back and we can go over the ones that are most interesting to you, okay?
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
All right, and then I believe I asked everything, but if anything comes up, I'll shoot you a text message if I have any other questions. And then when you get a chance, please reply with the strength of that fluoxetine, okay?
Yep, sounds good.
All right, it was nice talking with you and I look forward to speaking with you. Have a
Awesome,
good
thank
day.
you. You as well. Have a good one.
That was really good. And you were good at building a rapport early on too. Nice job. You did Medicare, right? Because you understand, it seemed like you understood. I was like, she understood prescriptions. Medicare people usually do, where, Diane, when I work with Diane, I'm like, blah, 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 and she's like, I'll be like, when we role play, I'm like, some medicine that's for heart. She's like, she'll list like 5 off. I'm like, Medicare people, they know prescriptions. So nice job on that. And it was a good flow too, like you very just kept flowing, and she was quick to, hey, I'm gonna send you that text when you get me that, kind of get me your dosage. So perfect. I want to drill down on the 6 big questions too. Once you start getting in like conversations with people, like rapport building, some of it isn't that qualifying with the who. So you're already getting at the who, because you always want to bring back, who are you setting this up for? Who do you have in mind? Because that's your, there's a few things you're going to use it for. One, when you're going to close, this was important to you. Dylan, you told me this was important. You want to make sure that your sister has this in case something happened to you. The what, what is the purpose? What role do you want this, to do? So part of that's covered in the mortgage, or the qualifying too, when people are telling you, well, I want to cover my $300,000 mortgage, my $60,000, car payment. The when, sometimes when when you're doing the follow-up, not on your initial call, but I'm really big on, okay, when were you looking to get this protection in place? And I ask, because the one thing, in my job, and if you're talking to a first responder, they're going to understand when I say it. Like the one thing, you and me understand more than some is we never know, tomorrow's not promised. So the sooner we get this protection in place, the better, which is. And then, why, we kind of get the why in there when we're going. And the, you know, how. How is a big question when you're doing, like, when I'm going over rates with people, I'm big on the how. Like, and we kind of went over this last week, like, how much income, like when we were doing the one qualification, you know, and the guy was like, I would want to make sure my wife would be taken care of if something happened to me. I'm like, okay, so that's where I'd be like, Kevin, you know, so how much income am I looking to replace here? If you don't come home tomorrow, how much income does Jennifer need to replace what you were bringing in? Because my goal and my role is to make sure that your wife, Jennifer, she's going to have that. So how much am I looking to cover to replace? So I'm digging in. And then it's where I also go a little deeper where, okay, Kevin, so you don't have any protection in place right now. How long do you think Jennifer could financially stay afloat without having this plan in place? And make sure you don't lead or answer that question at all. Make them, and this is where it gets uncomfortable sometimes. And literally, I've sat there and I'm like, are they still on the phone? And then finally, you know, you'll hear them say, I don't know, maybe a week or two. Sometimes it's a month, but I'm like, ooh. I'm like, okay, so it would get real critical real fast if we don't have a plan in place. Okay, thanks for sharing that with me. I'm glad we're talking. You know, we're going to get you in a plan. Hopefully by the time we're off the phone today, we'll have you in an active plan that has day one coverage. And that's what we want. Because, you know, Kevin, if Jennifer can't pay the mortgage, you know, because you just told me, you know, she could probably stay afloat for 2 weeks. The bank's coming in month 2, month 3 at the latest. And I know that that's something you want for her and the kids. You want to keep her in that house. You know, that's where she's going to have the memories of you. That's where your kids have the memories of you. You know, we don't want to make any more changes, especially for the kids, than we have to. So, yep, we're going to get you in a plan today. And then that's where I go right in for the close. So when you were looking at the rates I sent over to you, which one fit your budget and your needs the best? And it's okay if you're telling me like 300,000 fits you what you want, but 200 fits your budget, because there's some things I can, you know, try to work with numbers to keep you in the same range. And that's where I may suggest, okay, Kevin, we're doing 200,000 level. And we're going to pair it with an accident plan to get you that extra coverage. If you're telling me this is what fits the budget, but this is what you really want. And, you know, and I tell them everything's, you know, we can adjust anything, but based on the information I have, let's just get you in and see if you qualify. And I'm going right into the app. This is where Kevin is going to either follow me and go into the app, or he's going to start like the cat when you try to put a cat in a car. If you've ever seen the cartoon where the cat's like claws out and they're like, it's not happening. That's where Kevin's either going to come out and start telling me every objection. Well, hold on, wait a minute. I got to talk to my wife, or, you know, I wasn't planning to do this today. And this is where learn those objections so you can hit them head on. You know, Kevin, what do you mean? Hold on. What are we waiting for? We agreed you have to have this coverage, but you also have to make sure you're saying it in a tonality and in the right context, that it's not coming off as confrontational, because there's an art to that. Other words, you're arguing with your client and they're not going to want to deal with you. So that's where I'd be like, you know, hey, Kevin. Okay, so I'm hearing some concerns, so talk to me. The one thing we both agree on is you guys need this coverage, right? Of course, he's going to tell me yes. Okay, so talk to me. What's going on? What would prevent you from getting in this today? And this is where I'm going to find out. I don't get paid till next week, or I got to make sure that, you know, I can fit this in the budget today. That's when they'll maybe ask you, well, when is it going to draft the payment? It's going to draft upon approval. So if you get approved today, it's going to draft today or tomorrow morning. If you need to move funds around, we can pick a preferred draft date. Like today's Tuesday, we could put it till, could you have the funds moved by Thursday? I mean, most banks you can jump on and move money right online. You don't have to go to a bank, so that should be pretty doable. And then he's either going to say yep, and I'm like, just going to go right into the app again, or he's going to give me another objection and we're going to hit that. But this is where you got to know your objections and how to overcome them. And this is why finding that why and who is really important. Kevin, you told me this was important for you, that Jennifer has this in place, that her and Bob and Susie, you know, be able to stay in this house if you don't come home tomorrow. You know, you told me you're the main breadwinner. You You know, I know from experience what that's like, so I'm trying to do the best thing I can for your family. Because, and I tell them, I've had conversations where I've sent somebody and gone over quotes on a Friday and I followed up on Monday and hey, guess what? Bob had a heart attack over the weekend. Bob no longer qualifies for the plan. I quoted Bob and I've had to go back and tell Bob, we gotta start over. You just went from, yep, we could have got 300,000 Friday to you can get 25,000 graded today. That's the best I can do for you. Because you literally just had a heart attack. Nobody's going to touch you. But a guaranteed issue. So, and I tell them that, you know, if I'm getting pushed back and then they're like, I'm like, so do you think we can make this work if we put the preferred draft date? But I also don't want to put you in this because if I put you in this and that payment's not going to go through, I can't guarantee that when you can get the funds in there, that this carrier will say, okay, we'll take them back. Because some carriers are really big on missed payments and bounce payments. Like they're like, nope, we don't want that kind of business. So I want to put you in it and I want to get you qualified today. So I can lock in your health today. But I also got to make sure that that payment's going to go through. Is there anything that you could see that that payment's not going to go through? Can I get you to commit that from now on, you know, every month this payment is coming out and that despite what happens in life, this is the one thing you're going to make sure is constantly paid. Because this is the one thing, just like your car insurance, you make your car sure your car insurance is paid every month, right? Because you're worried about getting a letter in the mail a couple months later saying, hey, you don't have car insurance, provide proof of car insurance. Jennifer's counting on you for a lifetime. You promised her a lifetime. So it's the same thing. We got to make sure this is paid every month and really drill down on that. That's going to help you avoid lapses too. Because they're going to remember when that month where it's, hey, I got to debate what I'm paying. They're going to remember, hey, if I lose this, I might not be able to get in and this carrier might not take me back. Where if you make it seem like it's a luxury, it's an add-on, it may be one of the first things they cut when times get tough. You don't want that because then you got to charge back. Nobody likes those. Any questions on that?
All solid stuff.
Jennifer, did we get you the quoting tool? Did you get access in there?
I'm not sure.
It's in the group me under pinned. It says change your password, but don't change the password.
Okay.
Yeah, get in there. You can't break anything on it. Just get in there and kind of play around with it. You're going to love it though, because it does tell you exactly what carrier to go to. It takes all the guesswork out. You put in their prescriptions, their height, their weight, their birthday. It'll tell you exactly where to go with your client. And we're finding it's pretty accurate. You just got to drill down a little bit more to get a little bit more information, like I said, than what we did before. But it's gonna, especially if it's avoiding declines. And then, you know, if you do get those guys that have a lot of medical conditions where before we'd be like, where am I going with this guy? You're like praying and wishing and hoping that there's a carrier and you're like trying to scramble and like reaching out. Hey, where would you go with this guy? It tells you exactly where to go. Yeah, I love it. So when you go to build too, like, you know, if you decide down the road you want to build a team, takes a lot of that guesswork for your new agents off the table too. Carla, you guys have stuff like that for Medicare, so it's going to be kind of a similar tool for you. You know, with Medicare, you got to search their primary, make sure their doctors are in network. You got to search their prescriptions. You know, make sure it's kind of like the same thing. It's double checking all that. And you know, the reason why they have that is because the IMO that we paired up with, they're the #1 Medicare provider, so they have a tool very similar for Medicare. So they developed one for life, which is awesome. Any questions you guys have for me this week?
Can't think of any myself.
Okay. All right, you guys are free to go.
Just the only thing.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'll get with you. I got to call one client that I've got where well, shoot, so sorry, Misty. Is through GTL Turbo.
So that GTL Turbo,
So I gotta
make sure that you get all that information because that's the 3 strike and they're shutting your link down. So, because that's a proprietary one, and that one their rates come in better than SVLI. So Jennifer, if you liked SVLI, I didn't think there was a carrier out there that would beat them. These guys do, hands down. about anywhere $20-$30 lower a month.
Oh.
Yeah, like if I were to replace my SPLI policy that I took out 2 years ago, so being 2 years older, I still save $30 a month.
Ooh, yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yep, and it's pretty much all the same perks. It still has terminal illness built into it. It's just as easy as an application. It just doesn't have, they don't write the will for them free.
Mm.
That's really the only thing that's different. Other than that, it's just like selling SBLI. But they're very, they gotta be pretty, they gotta be really
Gotcha.
healthy to get in that one. So you gotta ask their prescriptions and their height and their build, because sometimes I'm like, I've had a couple guys, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's going GTL, and then I get the build and I'm like, this guy's not going GTL. If it doesn't suggest GTL up there, it's not one we're putting them in. So get on there and kind of play around. If you guys need anything, reach out this week.
Cool.
So I do have a hard stop though here because I'm meeting with Adam at 12:30 again. So if you guys need anything, just reach out, but get in the training portal, watch those videos, get familiar with your new carriers. Figure out how to get in. Aptical, which is the one for Prosperity, your login is what it's going to be your SFG email because they set you up with Foresters. And Foresters also use Aptico. Perla, yours might be different. Yours might be if you had Aptico where you were before. If not, we may have to look and see what your login will be. Or if you never set one up, then they'll set it up for you with your new email. But Jennifer, Dylan, and Brian, your guys' login for those are going to be your SFG email, just so you know.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect. All right, guys. Go enjoy your day, and I will talk to you soon. Let me know if you need anything.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'll
Thank you.
talk to you soon, Misty.
Okay. Bye,
All
guys.
right, see you all.